Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. May the peace, love, and blessings of Allah be with you. Welcome to Ramadan Transformation, day number 9. Today we're going to be looking at the power of thought. The power of thought. But before we get into that, I wanted to do a quick recap of everything we've covered in the last 8 sessions and in the last 8 days of Ramadan. So we're over a week into Ramadan, alhamdulillah. So far, the Ramadan transformation sessions have been each focused on a very specific topic. And these are things that you really need to get in order to see how Ramadan and Islam and the Quran can all help you master your nafs and transform your life. So a quick recap of what we covered. In day number 1, session number 1, we talked about the purpose of Ramadan is transformation. The purpose of Ramadan is transformation. The Quran says the purpose is to increase your taqwa. And when you increase your taqwa, what happens is that area of your life gets transformed. All areas of your life get transformed when you increase your level of consciousness. Day number 2, we looked at the distinction between Quran teaching and Quran coaching. And I kind of gave you a heads up that during this series, I'm not going to be teaching you the Quran. We're going to be focusing on Quran coaching, which is helping you to understand yourself so that the Quran can transform your life. And we said that the major part of that for us is going to be an understanding of the ultimate psychological truth, the paradigm of transformation, which is the inside-out paradigm. And the inside-out paradigm states that you are living in the feeling of thought in the moment. All of your felt experience of life is created by thought, and that's something we're going to get more deeply into in today's session. But day number 3, we looked at the inside-out paradigm. Day number 4, we then looked at the significance of experiencing a paradigm shift. The inside-out paradigm is for psychology what discovering the Earth goes around the sun and not the other way around was for astronomy. It's the equivalent of gravity, Newton's laws for physics. So we're experiencing a paradigm shift in terms of our understanding of psychology and spirituality, and we're on the cutting edge of that. Day number 5, we looked at what is the nafs. And we said that there have been a few different definitions of the nafs throughout history. And the definition I want you to take home, because it's going to be the most useful and it's going to help you to master your nafs, is the nafs, the ego, is created through separating thought and feeling in your imagination. In reality, thought and feeling are inseparable, like two sides of the same coin, but we pretend that we can separate them. And I give you examples like, you made me sad. No, sadness comes from thought. You didn't make me sad. You did something maybe bad, and then I felt sad. But they're two separate things. So then we looked at this, the implication, therefore, of self-correction. Self-correction is, if you want to master your nafs, you need to know the line between when you're coming from the nafs and when you're coming from a good place, a better place, your highest self, from who you really are. How do you know if you're coming from your nafs or not? Well, this line is the line of separation. Either feeling comes from thought in the moment, which is the reality. Either feeling comes from thought in the moment, which is the reality. Feeling comes from thought in the moment, or feeling comes from somewhere else, which is the illusion. So when you're going through life, and you're not sure, where you're coming from, or something's really upsetting you, like I talked about, here are some circumstances that are really upsetting. Divorce, somebody passing away, being afraid of a member of your family, then you put the same circumstances on the other side of the board, and you can see, oh, hang on, I've been pretending that those circumstances can cause my feelings, but in reality they don't. So self-correction, here is the line that separates the nafs from your nafs from your higher self. Okay, so that was self-correction. We're going to get more into that in future sessions, inshallah. And that was day number 6. So day number 7, we looked at the illusion of separation. So I really wanted just to send this home. The idea that thought and feeling can be separated is an illusion. Thought and feeling are inextricably bound. We imagine they can be separated. We imagine things outside of us cause our feelings, but they don't in reality. And that illusion is the illusion of separation. And the other illusion of separation that happens when we make this is we then start to believe that we're separate from Allah. Allah is far away. And when we do that, that brings us on to the ultimate nafs trap, which we covered yesterday. The ultimate nafs trap is the I'll be happy when trap. I'll be happy when I have more money. I'll be happy when I have a perfect relationship. I'll be happy when I have six-pack abs. I'll feel connected with Allah when I've memorized the whole Quran. I'll feel connected with Allah when I get myself up for Fajr every day. The I'll be happy when trap creates this illusion of separation between us and Allah. The truth is Allah is already with you. The truth is all the happiness you'll ever have in life is already available to you right now. So that was a summary. I was hoping I could do it in 8 sentences, but apparently I couldn't. So today we want to look at the power of thought. And the reason this is so important is that thought, David Bohm said, thought creates our world and then says, I didn't do it. Thought creates our world and then says, I didn't do it. And I want you to really understand the power of thought to create your whole experience of life, including creating your felt experience of life. So the most important, in order to help me explain this, it's going to be useful if you've seen a movie. Another movie reference. So have you ever seen a movie called Inception? In the movie Inception, Leonardo DiCaprio, it's a movie about, there's a dream inside a dream inside a dream. And Leonardo DiCaprio at one point is explaining to somebody how dreams work. And he says, inside a dream, what happens is you create the whole world around you inside your dream. So you create the whole world. It's this whole imaginary world. And then you let yourself be a character in that world and you let yourself experience that world so quickly, you don't realize you just created it. So you create the whole world around you, and then you become a character in the world and let yourself experience the world as though you didn't just create it. That's how a dream works. The amazing thing is, it works exactly the same way in real life. Right now, everything you're seeing in the room around you is being created by your power of thought. Your thought is creating your entire experience of this moment. Now, I'm not saying that the chair you're sitting on isn't there. I'm saying your experience of that chair is being generated by your mind. Now, this seems like a small distinction, but actually it's a critical distinction. The only difference between when you're asleep and when you're awake is that when you're awake, you have information coming to you through your 5 senses, but you're not experiencing that information. That information goes into your mind, and then your mind acts on it to generate this thing that we call your whole experience of this moment. Without thought, you wouldn't be able to experience this moment. Your mind is creating thought and then letting you experience that thought so quickly, you don't realize you're creating it. Look at the room around you right now. 100% of your experience of the room around you is being generated by your mind. It's kind of like virtual reality. I don't know if you've ever seen, Star Trek, where they have the holodeck where you walk into this room and you can create any world you want in this machine creates a world, or The Lawnmower Man is a virtual reality world. There's a few other movies that use this reference. Well, it's kind of like your mind is the virtual reality machine, and it's letting you experience the reality around you as though it didn't just create it. Thought creates our whole world and then says, it wasn't me. Your experience of everything happening right now is being generated by your mind. And then you're experiencing it so quickly, you don't realize you just generated it. So why is this so important? Well, this is about how life actually works. This is about how your experience is being generated. If your whole experience of this moment is being generated via the power of thought, then of course, that power of thought is what's generating all of your feelings as well. It's generating your felt experience of this moment. 100% of your experience of what's happening right now is coming from thought. 100% of your feelings come from thought in the moment. Thought is a divine gift. I'm not talking about the little thoughts that pop into your head that you can identify, like a little bit of self-talk and the movie in your mind. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the gift, the divine gift of thought that Allah gave you and all of humanity since the beginning of time. I'm talking about the power of thought itself. The fact of thought itself is the most underestimated thing in the world. We think other people cause our feelings, but other people don't create our experience of life. Our thought creates our experience of life. We think that the circumstances around us are the most important thing, but the circumstances around us don't create our experience of life. Our thought creates our experience of life. Thought is a divine gift that Allah gave you to navigate yourself through this world. And it's the most powerful thing in the world. The moment we underestimate the power of thought, we overestimate the power of all of these other things. Allah's, we say, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. There's no might or power except Allah, except through Allah. Allah creates our whole experience of life for us through the power of thought. That's really the power that we're talking about. قولوا قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم. Until next time, may the peace, love, and blessings of Allah be with you always.